Join me for a cozy autumn watercolor session as we paint fall leaves using negative painting. This is one of my favorite ways to slow down and just enjoy color. The leaves slowly appear as we paint around them.
Let's wet our paper. Just give it a nice wash of water. Let it sink in. Try to get some of the cat hair off. I'm gonna clear a little spot actually so we get some nice clean colors. First one anyway.
All right, let's start with our first layer. Just play with color here. No pressure to be perfect. Just enjoy how the pigments move and mix. I'm also testing out a new camera, so the sound might be a little different in a few spots.
Some may be a little darker than others. Maybe a little more concentrated pigment. Remember, this is going to dry lighter. I'm just having fun. Might even want to maybe mix a little green just for some spots. Try to keep it away from the red though, because red and green will make a mute it down.
During the more repetitive parts, I'll play some soft, relaxing music so you can simply enjoy the painting process. I'll pop back in with tips and guidance as we go. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I love hearing from you.
It's a nice warm red or warm yellow because warm colors come forward, cooler colors recede. So as we do our negative painting, stick around because you'll see as I get further down in the layers, my colors will get cooler and cooler.
And make sure you stay until the end because I'll show you the gentle finishing touches that make them softly glow.
Okay, and I just want to kind of fill this all in. Now it will merge as it blends together on the wet paper. If you notice, I'm using some more watered down so you can kind of see some darker color, some lighter color. You don't want the paint too thick or too dark because it won't stand out nice when we're done. And do you see how I'm kind of just brushing, splatting, kind of doing stuff all over? You can even take a little bit of the red. I'm gonna add a little pink to it to make it really vibrant. Then, let's just do some of this. Not a whole bunch, just a little. We're gonna let that dry, or we'll dry it up with a hairdryer. So, I just went out into my yard and I picked some leaves. So you can have a rough idea, like they really are shaped like anything. They're just about any colors. Like these are off the same tree. This is my burning bush. And see how bright those are and see how dull those are? This is beautiful, by the way. They even get more fluorescent than that. There's some that are green and yellow, yellow with some red, and there's red with bright yellow. There's some maple leaves. That's a European birch. I think that's a birch as well. And here, this is off of my Harlequin maple. And some more maple leaves, like there's a yellow one, a red one, there's green in them. This is off of my beech trees. They have like a burnt sienna glow to them. They're just absolutely beautiful. This is off of my Crimson King. I mean, this is huge compared to the rest of them. And there's another, a darker one that's been on the ground for a while. It's kind of crusty. I'm just going to use these to draw some first shapes. So we've got like a here and, oh, that one goes up this way and then it comes down. And then it's got another little jot at the bottom and it goes up in. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. So that could be a little leaf like that. This over here with some green. And I'm just drawing some of them off of the page. I want to have some interest, and we're not going to overlap any of these leaves. This is going to be our first layer. That little stem. These grow right off of the center. Let's do one of these. These are cool, and they have a little red on them. They're sort of almost like a teardrop, but kind of cut short. So it's almost got like a V, right? And then it comes to a point down here, So then you would start with your point. It's almost like a serrated edge. I've drawn very dark so you can see it a little better. So now here's the trick. When we are going to start painting around these, I want you to pre-mix some colors at the same consistency. I want to have a red. And when I say same consistency, I mean the same consistency as each other. So I'm going to mix a yellow. Oh, contaminate it. That's okay. It really doesn't matter, to be honest with you. Now see how I add water and you can see how that's moving? See how when you move your brush, you can actually see the white through? Try not to contaminate. See? That's a good consistency. And I'm going to get maybe a little bit of the green. Let's wipe out this. And I'm not worried about my colors getting contaminated because they're all mixed together in nature anyway, right? I'm gonna put a little bit of the warm ultramarine blue. That's good, I just need a little more water. There's that. I'm gonna take some quinacridone rose, and that should actually be more of an orange. There we go, that's better. Because we want to reserve the yellow for the very top. We're going to come around this little leaf. Don't try to make it perfect. As I do this, I'm going to add a little bit of red. So see how I'm just kind of keeping everything wet and I'm just alternating colors. And I don't want that to pop too much, so let's go back to the orange. And if you have to, pull it out a little. If you want it a little thinner, use some water. If you get some backgrounds and stuff in this, it's not going to be a big deal. It's going to actually be kind of nice. If you're going to add some green, do it where it's yellow. And don't forget, some leaves will be on the ground rotted. You don't have to make them the exact size. So here's where I'm just ad-libbing. See how I just added that leaf? Just going to drop a little green. Let's get some more red going here. Oh, and if you fling it, even better. Try not to let your edge dry out, so if you have to, just add a little water. Because this is like a loose, easy kind of relaxing exercise. You can kind of just drop, you can use a bigger brush if you want to. Like I'm actually using a pretty small brush. Let me jump to say a Princeton 12 Neptune. Let me try some of that. It'll go a lot quicker. Might need a little more paint though. The Neptunes really suck up the paint. Now do you see where I outlined that? I should have had some paint ready to go, but that's okay. And it's even okay leaving these little spaces. And all I did was just put a little bit of water on that. Maybe a little too much. Sop a little up. days my hands are really steady, and other days they are not. I just go with it. Perfectionism kills creativity. At least it does for me. So I'm just having fun. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to have fun and relax. That is good for our first layer. So yeah, we've got a few on top, and then we're gonna go, once this is dry, and draw some more. So stay tuned. This is dry, good and dry. We can sketch on a few more leaves. Now, I'm going to make a few, and some of them will be on top as well. I just want to have some different colors. And remember, does not have to be perfect. And if you find it, this is another thing, if you find it hard to draw leaves on your own, you can always just kind of go like this. If you collect some from your yard, right? You can just kind of, boop, lightly. There's one there. And if you notice, that's not perfect either. So don't be intimidated. That's a bigger one. Let's put one over here, maybe going this way. So remember now, we're drawing underneath. And so this little tip is going to be under, it's going to be underneath that leaf there. So we don't draw the tip over top of it. We just draw like this. So this little one is overlapping where that point would be. Let's do another one of these. So again, we're going to start with the top, then they go right out from the stem. That's just barely under that, and that's not even under that. So some of these leaves are still going to be considered top leaves because we didn't have a whole lot filled in. But I didn't want all my leaves to be this light on the top. This is beautiful. That's off my beech tree. Let's put, yeah, we can put something like that here. Oh, or we can put it here, right? Okay, let's do something like that there. There, and we'll put it under that. These little leaves are cute too. So they're almost like a little heart. And if you can kind of find a shape that kind of works, like it is almost like a fat little heart. So if we put that here, right, we're drawing a little heart, but instead of dipping in, we're just gonna go across. Let's do another one right here. So we'll have it going off the page, almost like a heart, but it just goes across or dips in a little. This is nice right here. So if we go like this, right, now I'm avoiding any of the other ones I've drawn, and I'm not going to draw in any of the leaves that we've already defined. So you see that? Do you see how it's underneath the leaves, but it's still a maple leaf? That's going to be enough drawing for now. Now we're going to make some more reds and yellows, but we're going to make them a little cooler and a little darker. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of purple. Just a tiny bit of blue to make purple. Now you have to be careful because again, purple and yellow are going to mix and make a yucky color. So we're going to have some red, some cool red, and some warm right here. Now I'm going to mix some burnt sienna, and it helps if you have all your colors out and mixed ahead of time because then you can just grab them and go. Okay, so burnt sienna, maybe add a dab of yellow to that. So it's kind of a yellowy burnt sienna for now. Now we're going to paint all of the spaces that don't have a leaf. We're going to paint the negative space. Let's start over here. And we will paint around this. And that's already kind of warm. Anyway, this tape is not good. I think I've had it too long. Okay, I'm gonna... some red. So try to, like, if you see a lot of yellow, put the red over top of the yellow or the burnt sienna. Try to avoid putting the purple over top of the yellow. Now I'm going to be careful going in here. That's where we drew our maple leaf. See where I had to stop, my phone rang and it was my husband and I had to answer it and it goofed me up. That's okay. There'd be lighter spots anyway. The trick is, if you add, I just mix some more paint, this darker value, and if you're going to add darker, make sure you add it in more than one spot. Look at all those beautiful autumn colors. And you know what? This is a good kind of thing just to do to kind of rest your mind and not think. It's not too stressful. I mean, it could be stressful if you wanted it. Don't. It doesn't matter. Leaves look like. This is nature. All kinds of different shapes and sizes and colors. Before it dries, I just want to grab some blue and I'm gonna make it quite watery. And you can leave that right on that if you want, or if you don't like it to look so harsh, you can just kind of dab it. So see how it just looks like a faint? In fact, if you want it more texture, you could absolutely take your little Kleenex, ball it up, and just do this, right? See how that's giving some more dimension? Let's let that dry. So that is nice and dry. Now we're going to draw our third layer of leaves. Remember, don't draw over your leaf that we've already defined. So there. So see, all we did was just draw in there. There's another thing I'm going to do too before we paint this next layer, and I'll show you once we're done. Just put a lot of those there. Where's another really nice kind of, oh, this is pure. There, that's pretty. Okay. Maybe do another maple leaf there. Actually, it's quick. Yeah, it's really quick if you grab some leaves from your yard. Got a couple big empty spots. So there's a big empty spot there. So let's put a nice, do we want it to go through that? Yeah, let's put that through that. That's good for now. Before we move and mix our colors, I've just got my little brush that I like to lift color with. And before we do this row, I just want to just gently kind of lift a little tiny bit right there, just to join those together. I'm not worried about the irregular shapes or the irregular color. I just want to join those together, and then when I paint, I'm just going to paint up to that soft area. You'll see. We could even do it even for a couple of the maple leaves too if you wanted to. Just a little indication. Not all of them are going to have little stems because they're just kind of all over the ground. So let's get mixing our color again. Now this time we want to really start making it cooler. I'm going to grab a little bit of that phthalo blue. We want it to be nice and watery. See what happens when we put that over the red? But it's just enough to dull it down. Okay, let's get our cool pink. Oh my word, I'm telling you, I'm as clumsy when I walk as well. Just going to add a smidge there, just so it's a little purpley but not blue. So I know in here is going to be nice and dark. So there's, just paint over anything that is not, do not touch any leaves, any that are drawn or already defined. We're going to go there. So I'm going to put some of that there. I'm going to take a little bit of this pink. I just want to drop a bit in areas. But our blue is thin enough that it's going to show when it dries that color underneath, so we'll still get some of that variation. Well, you can see where there's little dots and spots. See how it's starting to recede? This is so relaxing. Just paint the shapes. Don't even think about anything else. Just paint the in-between shapes. See that? We're already at a blue. You want it nice and thin because you want that underneath to show through. It gives it interest. just make sure there's a variation in your color. Put a little pink there too, because I like that pink dropped in. And if you have a lot of paint on, just dab it on your Kleenex or towel. Okay, so I want to just get some more blue in that because we're coming to some red and lots of red, so make sure we have enough. Yep, we have enough pigment in there. Like, look at how much that is popping now. Just going to add some pink in there because some areas look a little duller than others due to the color we had on them. All right, let's keep moving. So do you see how this is really orange? And if I put that blue, if I put that blue on there on the orange, it's going to look really kind of dull. Do you see that? It looks browny muddy. So let me just add a little bit of that. See how more interesting it is? So we just have this section left to do. And this is nice and red, so we can just put some blue. So you know what we have to do? We have to let that dry. I'm just going to make a few smaller ones over here. We have one there. We have a big area here. maple leaf there, and it's hard to see once it starts getting darker. Long ones there. Just maybe one little sticking out that way, sticking out that way. We're just going to mix up some blue and some pink. We're just going to start going in, painting small areas with the purple. Purple's going to darken down, cool it. It's going to start to recede even more. You know, this is really fun to do and so relaxing. Another one I love to do is rocks. You can just drop all kinds of colors in and just kind of draw rocks and then do it layer by layer like this with all different shaped rocks and all different colors. And that can be really relaxing too. Make sure you stick around to the end too. I'm going to show you how to really add a little punch to these lighter ones. So I'm not adding as many random colors now, I'm just kind of keeping it to the purple because it's still thin enough that some of those colors will still show through. And of course, as it gets deeper, you're not going to see as much detail. places actually that I would mind being a little darker. We have one last thing to do, and then I'm going to show you how to really liven up these top leaves. Let's let that dry. Just a few more little leaves underneath, and it's not going to be anything too big. Just to kind of connect some more of these together. Just going to do a couple more little spots. So I've made my paint a lot thicker. As you can see, like when I move it around, it's not as liquidy. So there's a little more dark. So if you look in these leaves, they've got darker veins, but we're going to actually do the opposite and make lighter veins. I am going to take and we're not going to do it on all of them, just a couple. Okay. Okay. Do you see how he's encroaching? You stay there. Charlie. Okay, so. Okay, I've never seen him act this way. You're a silly bird. So I'm just going to kind of paint like this. Oh, Charlie, no, baby. Oh my goodness, Charlie. Okay, I'm gonna have to get him out of here. What are you doing? Okay, nope, come on, chubby bubby. Oh, Charlie, you're too cute. He tore it up. Okay, now let's see if I can actually do one easier now without him. And if you're having a hard time, just take a pencil and just lightly, just go like this. You don't even have to mark all of it, just kind of a little. So now we're just going to go in. So what we're doing is we're doing a little more negative painting to define some of the leaves. Take a little bit of the burnt sienna, just drop some in. See how nice that is? So we can do the same with the maple leaf. And if you look, all of theirs come right from the center. So it starts here and it goes up, and then it goes over this way and over that way, and then to the little tiny one on the side. Then each of those has a little branch off of it. Then same with here once you get up here. So now this one, we can use some of that red. Burnt sienna. And you don't even have to do the whole leaf if you don't want to. You can just do some areas, like you might want to cover this over, just kind of drop in some of that, go back, get some of that nice yellow. And don't be fussy, let it be loose. And you can also do the opposite as well. whatever you want, it's yours. So you can do something like that, and I don't like that, it's a little too fussy. I'm just going to drop a little bit of water so it looks like it's been there, pulverized. But that probably wasn't a good word. Let's pulverize it. Let's get some burnt sienna. This one's got a little rod on it. You can also put pencils on this. You can do so many things. I'm not going to put pencil on mine. I just want to have it loose and kind of fun. I'm going to just see what I'm doing there. I dropped some water off my brush onto it, and then I sprinkled some water or some paint onto it. And then over here, do you remember how nice and vibrant they were? And there, so we are going to make a nice vibrant red. So this is just giving it a little bit of interest. And all I'm doing is just spreading a little color around to kind of balance it out. Just grab some water. See how that just kind of makes it variegated. You can even put water down first if you want in just areas, and then grab the pigment and just drop it and let it grab the water, which is nice. You can also wet this one right here, some of this burnt sienna. Just touch it. Just see how I'm just touching that around the edge? Get some more paint. It's actually, the water is pulling it in. This one too, we might want to dull that down a little. Just because you painted them negatively doesn't mean that you can't go in on them again with paint. I'm gonna wet this one. Just put some little drops. My paint is really liquidy that I'm adding. I'm just going to define just a couple of these, not all of them. Let's get a little bit of burnt sienna there. The burnt sienna is great for right around the edge where it kind of starts to rot a little. And it goes well with the yellow leaves. So let's let that dry. Okay, the other thing that I want to do, just to kind of make a couple shadows. using is that glue mixture, and I'm just rinsing my brush and making it damp and just pulling it out. Just tickle the edge of it with the tip of your brush. This will just kind of help define them a little more. Realize that they're kind of sitting on top. And again, I'm just pulling it out to make it soft. See how soft that is? I could sit and do this all night, just play. And this is what this is. It's just play. It's just having fun. If you can get anything from this video, let it be that it's okay if something isn't wonderful. Not everything has to be a masterpiece. And this is where you learn your most, is when you just play. Just play. It doesn't matter. You're not painting for anybody. You're just playing, and that's okay. See how it's starting to give them a little bit of depth.
You can actually see where I had painted the original shadows and they've dried lighter, which watercolor does that. So I'm just going to go back over them again to reinforce them and help my leaves pop.
So if you notice, I'm really just kind of wetting. There's yellow in that. Just grab a little bit of green. See how that kind of makes it almost look like it's starting to rot? And this poor little fella here. This would be a good little exercise to maybe get some girls together and just have fun and play and chit-chat. See, I'm just putting yellow on the top ones because you're going to see more yellow towards the top. I'm going to dry that. Now I'm going to take this tape off. Oh, I have a little bit of an edge. I mean, it has bled quite a bit, but not too bad. So there it is. There is my fun, cozy autumn play session. Just me and the cats downstairs in the studio having fun. My last video before this was a couple of mushrooms that I did for my daughter's nursery. And they were pen and ink and watercolor, and they were really fun too. So I will put a link to those above, and you should probably watch that next, because that's another beginner easy tutorial that you could do. All right, I will see you in the next one.